And welcome back, everybody, to SpeedCon 2024. We are approaching the finale of the event. And you see in the bottom right corner there, I want that counter to grow as much as you can. But for now, let's not just get melancholic yet, because we still have some runs coming up. The next one, Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown by Toca, is just about to start. So Toca, the floor is all yours.
Yes, it's me. Hello, everybody. Before I start, a very quick disclaimer: the following run will be illegal for a very simple reason. I will be running on an old patch, which is not allowed and actually only possible because I backed up the game files back when this patch was live. And the reason for that is that the patch you'll be seeing is the one that was the patch at the time when I submitted this run. And since then, some glitches have been patched. I get to that in the run when these glitches occur. But for now, I think we can just get into it. This is also illegal, but don't worry about it. Yeah, let's go. So as you see, and maybe here, that kind of depends on the microphone of this headset, this run will be rather loud. Surely for the people in the audience, this is how it will sound for the next 35 minutes. I'm sorry, that's just how this game works. Epic parrying, first fight, but we'll just not do that. Let's do a little jumping here. That's how you move in ancient Persia. Let's go. That was the first skip. Pretty intuitive. It's an infinite wall jump. What you do is, after jumping off the wall, you attack and then you block. And that blocking lets you move towards the wall again and gain height. Timing's a bit particular, but in principle it's not that difficult. Okay, dodged you. No, that's not good. There's another enemy. That's... What are you? Okay. Let's try that again. What I'm about to do is not really faster if you do it second try, but I'm just doing it out of spite, honestly. Because I want to see this game break. Like, mentally. Yeah, that's cool. And where is it? There, yeah. Yeah, there was a sandwich launch. Again, pretty intuitive. You're inside another thing, and the game's like, I don't like that. So it pushes you out, and luckily it pushes you out enough such that you can skip over that invisible barrier and skip the fight. Actually, there's another way. There's an NMG way of doing that. But that's harder, and I want to not do hard things in this run. As will become apparent in like 10 minutes, 15 at the latest. More fights. Let's not do that. Oh, come on. That was not high enough. That's fine. One more. Cool. So the charge attack here. Yeah, and that charge attack from 5 seconds ago just broke that gate, obviously. You can get an instant midway point here, that's fine. So this is the end of the tutorial. The tutorial goes on for a bit after that, but what you traditionally would consider a tutorial, I guess. So the game teaches us how to fight here, and that's where the fighting stops, essentially. If you don't yet know what that means, if you don't know that run, that's perfectly fine. Just means you will be even more amazed when we get there. Don't worry about it. That's how you move in ancient Persia. You wouldn't know about it. Cool, that's a trigger. We hit there, and with a bit of luck, this one is actually hard. That's fine. No. Yep, that's good, that's good, that's good. Now don't miss the hole. Got it, cool. So how's everybody doing? Yeah, there's a very complex movement here. At this point, I should maybe explain what I'm doing. I'm mashing 2 buttons over and over. Oh, let's stretch again. That's so cool. I did some platforming there. Prince of Persia. Let's go. Yeah, to actually explain what's going on here, again, I would argue it's somewhat intuitive. It's slide canceling. So you're sliding, and you're canceling it right away so you can input the next slide. The way you cancel, however, is kind of funny because you're not doing any action, like you're not canceling the slide by attacking or using your bow. You're canceling the slide by moving, which feels kind of funny because sliding is moving, but it works, and that's what matters. Also, hope you're not too annoyed about the sound yet. And if you are, that's honestly your problem. Okay, that's our first checkpoint. At this point, the game teaches us about these walk trees.
Go. Hey,
yep.
I might.
Which essentially... Oh, come on. That was terrible. Essentially function as checkpoints or save points. We'll not take too many of them unless they're mandatory. I'll take, I think, 2 additional ones just for safety. Also tech coming in. Yeah. That's how you move in ancient Persia. You wouldn't know about it. And that's not how you move in ancient Persia. Oh, come on. We're just doing some laps. We're enjoying the scenery. Everything's floating around in a weird way. So that's cool. I should mention that this is not the fastest route to do. There's a faster route for, if you know the game, there's a faster route you can take through the prison, which is not intended, but you can do it with some moderately difficult tricks. It's not undoable by any means, but it's hard enough such that I don't want to do it. So I will just not and sacrifice those 15 seconds. Here's our first little detour. This room corresponds to a side quest which we'll start and then never touch again. But that's fine because we get this little amulet here. Amulets in this game lead to certain benefits depending on the amulet. And you can only equip them at a Wak tree. And this amulet we took right here. Sorry, 1 second. This amulet we took right here, nope, gives us extra damage while we are in full health. Which is, I don't have the exact numbers in mind, but it's some like 30% plus minus. So it's a pretty substantial boost. At the cost of not being active if you're not in full health, so if you're bad at the game, essentially. Ah, that's a shame. Even got that first try. So, poor launch here. Again, don't worry about it. So here, let's try something funny. 1, 2, 3. Ah, that's too close. You can kind of see what I was attempting here. With this with his parry close to the door. You can clip inside of it. Oh, come on. You can clip inside of it, and if the parry started close enough to the door, which is not that easy to do, then during that parry animation, this one right here, let's show it again because it's fun. During that parry animation, you hit the trigger, and because Sargent is an interactable entity during that parry, he hits the trigger to get into the next room, and you skip this fight. As you see, this fight is not that massive, so it's not terrible that I missed that skip. Also, that skip is not, at least in that form, not possible anymore on the latest patch. There's still another version, which is dumb, so yay for old patch. So here's another walk tree. This one we have to take. This one is mandatory. I didn't activate it, it activated automatically. Okay. The advantage of that is that we can activate the amulet we just took. So we now, and until the end of the game, hopefully have our bonus to damage. Okay, didn't mess with that pedal, that's cool. Now we'll do a skip, and we did the skip, cool. That saves maybe a minute, maybe more, I don't know. I never timed the other route, because why would you do that? So two things. First of all, what we skipped was the first real boss fight, if we don't count the tutorial boss fight that is. And second of all, the tech we did there, to skip the fight and get to the bow early here, is sword hovering. Again, very intuitive. You just, don't worry about it. Very intuitive, you just fly away to victory. No, you just attack while you're in the air. And that sets your falling speed to 0 momentarily and lets you hover. But why hover when you can fly? Which is of course way more fun. So let's just do that forever. That worked. For reasons that certainly make sense in some universe. You can fly if you do 3 actions back to back. And that's jumping, using the bow, and parrying. And again, for reasons that surely make sense, that's enough to get this very interaction here. And luckily that one is still a thing in the latest patch. Without going into too much detail, that's fine. Without going into too much detail, it's much like sword hovering. It's the reason why that works is very deeply rooted in how this mechanic works. So fixing that bug would most likely, at least, amount to completely rewriting that mechanic, which I guess is not really worth for them.
Hey there.
Also, don't worry about it. Because we skipped her earlier, 2 cutscenes overlapped there. So the camera got stuck on here on her, which again is fine. Okay. If you couldn't tell, we are not supposed to be here yet. We're supposed to have a power-up, which is kind of the essence of a Metroidvania, which is what this game is. We're supposed to have the Clairvoyance power-up, which activates these hidden, like, outline platforms. But we have our means to get around here.
Here you are again.
Will you let me know when there's a good time for donation?
Yeah, you can go ahead if you want.
Awesome. We have an amazing $50 donation from Sphere saying greetings from Germany. Thank you so much. We are now sitting at $749.99, which is essentially 3/4 of the way to 1,000. Would be really rad if we could meet this before the end of the marathon.
Thanks so much, Sphere. Sphere with an absolute timeless classic. Much appreciated. While that's going on, we're just doing some more platforming and not worrying about a thing. Sadly, there's combat coming up. It's not a boss fight, so technically I don't think I lied earlier. Still, it's combat, and that's bad because combat is difficult. And I don't know how to play this game, so I'll just not. I didn't have to fly there, I just did it to flex, I guess. It's fine. Oh, whatever, dude. Oh, come on. Terrible, but at least I didn't die, so that's good. The following is surely intended. Yeah, that's about right. It's of course not intended. We're supposed to have a different ability here, which we don't. But why would we need that? Clearly, we're doing just fine. Oh, there's spikes. Oh, there's spikes. Ow. Ouch. Ow. Oh, that's not good. I cannot dodge them. They're right in my way. There's surely a reason for why I did that. And with a bit of luck, we'll see about that at the end of this fight. That's also fine. Okay, that's a pattern.
I shall stay.
That should be it. Yep. Ah, no. Ah, that's bad. Can we reset the run? Okay, then we get to the right headspace, and then we can try the fight again. Cool. Yeah, I think I'm doing good. Yeah, I did learn her pattern, so I think I should have it. Cool. I won the fight. The state the game is currently in is due to the zombie glitch, which sadly, and that's actually a sad thing, has been patched. The reason for that, however, is understandable because a lot of casual players, if you browsed Reddit when the game first came out, a lot of casual players accidentally did this because all I did, there's no magic to it. All I did was die right before a phase transition in the boss fight. Like it teleports you to a different area and the boss says "my world" in a very menacing way. That's cool, apparently. But as you saw, if you die right before that happens, or right when that transition happens, actually, the game freaks out a tiny little bit. Not too much, you know, nothing crazy. You can still see some things right now. So it could be worse, I guess. Oh, come on. That's about right. Okay. If you haven't played the game, just trust me, this is how the game's supposed to look. Okay. Now the effect of the zombie glitch, kind of, that was not smart, kind of unsurprisingly is that I cannot get hit anymore. By anything. So enemies, traps, death planes, nothing. Apparently it took away my ability to fly. It's interesting. Right, so that's good. What's bad, of course, is that I can't see much anymore. Lucky for me, I know where everything is. So now I just have to navigate everything. And there were also different versions of this glitch, of the zombie glitch, because depending on when exactly you die, different textures are or are not loaded later on. So there are instances where the first part of this corridor was also invisible, which at the time was terrible. Nowadays, as you see, well, nowadays, this is not really, this glitch doesn't exist anymore, but back when it did, you just knew where to go. It doesn't take as long to learn the whole level geometry. Of course, another side effect of zombie glitch not being a thing anymore in this game and subsequently in this run is that you actually have to be good at combat now, and even more so because the current route, or most of the current routes and categories, get an amulet called the Evil Eye, if I'm not mistaken, which also has a rather classic effect, and it the fact is that it takes away all your... I cannot fly today, what's going on? It takes away all your HP, but one singular health point. But in return, oh, that's not good. In return, your damage is like boosted by 300%. I don't know, something ridiculous. So naturally, that's what the run is doing these days. Unfortunately, that also means you have to be good at the game, because if you get hit once, you die. It's kind of not good. Okay, cool. Don't worry about it, I'm fine. Prince took a little... Well, not Prince, Sargon took a little chakram to the chest. Whatever hobbies make him happy, honestly. Okay, this is also dumb. Precise, I meant, of course, sorry. Cool. Yeah, getting through there is needlessly precise, and it doesn't help that you cannot see anything. Who would have thought that? Okay, this is the first piece of combat we're doing where you, where we are invincible. So we can just spam away our attacks, which is fun. As a little side note, I don't think you can see it on cam. People in the audience can certainly see it, and you may be able to hear it. I'm switching between keyboard and controller, and the reason for that is not because it's optimal, quite the opposite. If you ever decide to run this game, you should not do what I'm doing. This hybrid thing I'm doing with keyboard and controller, terrible for speed. Because I have to switch between keyboard and controller all the time. The reason I'm doing that is kind of a legacy thing, because when the game first came out, I played it on controller, not knowing, or maybe fully knowing, I don't remember, that keyboard and mouse would be optimal. So I'm left with whatever abomination this is I'm doing here. But as long as it works, why worry about it? It's kind of the motto of this run anyway. At this point, if you're thinking, why does the camera look weird, looks off-center? It's because it is, and I have no idea why. It's also bad because it makes this puzzle needlessly hard. Because as you see, like I have to time things. I'll have to stop the ring whenever something isn't something else. And I have to get off it when the blue thing is active, which I only see particles of. So that's fun. Flight here. That's fine. Actually, that could help in the long run. We'll see how the cycles lined up. Ah, shame. You can get a very quick cycle where you get onto the red pad as the red symbols line up, basically. And also, if you're timing things very well, all the things line up automatically. Sadly, I got neither of those. So we can sit here, or we could sit here for 15 more seconds and look at this fantastic puzzle wheel thing. Sargon is fine, don't worry about it. So what we did there was to activate a teleporter, which we'll use later on to return to this place. Not because it's strictly necessary, but because it's a bit faster and easier. But we wouldn't need it. Again, if you played the game, there's a pretty big gap here between where I just started the room and where the room ends. There's usually a way back from after the Darius boss fight, which we'll get to in a second. Hopefully, at least. But this way, we can just go the other way. Basically, we flew out of bounds, went all the way around and hit the trigger to get to this area. And now please be amazed at my insane combat skills. Like, how am I not taking any damage from him? That's insane. Dodge that. Cool. My heart rate is probably at 130 right now. I'm a clown. At this point, also a quick advertisement for the current patch runs. Because there, as I said before, you have to be actually good at the game. And if you remember that the fastest thing to do is to use the Evil Eye Amulet, where your HP is reduced to 1. That means that you have to do all this fight, all this craziness that you're seeing here, without getting hit. Which, to me, is insane. And I run this game. Cool. Sargon, you're doing okay there, friend. Feels like true mockery. Like, he didn't even take a scratch. He's like, I annihilated you. So here's the skip I was... not skip, sorry. The route I was talking about, or the detour. There's another teleporter. So we can use that to teleport back to the other one we activated. Saves like 10 seconds. Not a big deal, but it cuts a pretty difficult sword hover. Which there are other ways to do it, but let's not get into that. I'm more than happy that I never have to think about that, about crossing that insane gap again. That worked, sure. Also, something you're seeing some other form of movement. It's still, oh come on, it's still slide cancel, but now I'm not canceling the slide with inputting a direction, but with the bow. That's where you could sometimes see a see Sargon like hold a bow during the slide. It's a bit slower than doing it on keyboard, but not enough for me to care. At least for short distances. For longer ones like this one, it's still better to switch for me personally. That's a shame. It's fine, I'll try that again. That's why I took the checkpoint. what I attempted there, and hopefully what I'll get right now, doesn't save a ton of time, but it's very cool, and I'd like to get at least one of the 2 room skips like that, which also, from what I remember, were patched. So in some sense, this is exclusive content that you'll never be able to see ever again. Okay, that was the first one. This is the second one. Careful to activate the gate. Cool. 2, 3. Cool. Yeah, so what you're doing there is you're activating this gate, which usually closes the room without triggering the fight. And then in the second instance, you're flying through it, or you're attempting to fly through it. If your speed is high enough, if you're flying quickly enough, because flight can have different speeds as well, don't worry about it. Then you can get, or you could get through before the gate closes. That's kind of cool. I'm sure whatever this is has a reason in the story. I wouldn't know. I've forgotten all of it. This is not faster. This is just funny. Okay, let's try to get this. This is... let's set that up again. That was not good. If I miss this one, I would have to go back to the last save point, because I would fall into a... No, I got it good. I would have fallen into a death trigger, but I'm in the zombie state, so the death trigger doesn't activate, so you're soft locked. Luckily I got it. Honestly, it's not too difficult. Good pattern, cool. So this is the final boss. Obviously, if you follow the story until now, which you surely have, then you would know that this used to be our friend and now it's our enemy. Whatever, we are untouchable. Get on our level. Like, Varum, you could save both of us some time and just give up. Have you considered that? No, of course you haven't. You're a terrible person. Words can hurt more than whatever Son Goku attack you're doing there. Okay, that's the second phase out of 4. Although the fourth phase is a bit special, so this phase right here is the last real one in some sense of the word real, which I will not explain because well, that's good. Honestly, if I saw my enemy fly like that towards me, menacingly, I would have given up a long time ago. Like, I don't know why he's keeping this up. Okay, let's try that once more. Final phase. For reasons that truly make sense, I've been supercharged, so I can do very cool things now. Also, if I were to fly now, if I recall correctly, I would boost away like 100 meters into the air, I don't know. Because everything is enhanced about this man right here. And this is his final input. So this was an epic adventure tale from old Persia. Historically accurate, I think. That's all I had. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for the GGs. And we're on to the second to last run of the marathon, if I'm correct. We're getting there. Time is ticking down.